The Flat Earth Truth has gone viral, and unfortunately the public has been completely put under a trance, put under a spell by this fake, phony, garbage coronavirus. And before I get into this video, I want to show this aspect of duality. As we know with the yin and the yang, the negative and positive, female and male, truth and lies, and definitely the truth with all the lies being put out there. Let's take a listen to what is said here with Valerie Joy Wilson, as you can see here on Fox News. Let's take a listen.
Next guest is a blogger known as the Trusted Travel Girl. But this past week, she told her followers to trust her warning. Quote, live update, coronavirus edition, I have it. I tested positive. I'm a huge germaphobe. If I can get it, anyone can. She's warning her fellow millennials not to take COVID-19 lightly. Travel expert Valerie Joy Wilson joins us now. Valerie, thanks for being with us this morning. What's the biggest thing, as someone who travels the world, what's the biggest thing you learned about this?
The biggest thing I learned about the virus?
Yeah.
From traveling? It spreads fast. I mean, the world is flat now in a sense that we're all very, very connected.
The world is flat now. Again, this is the concept, with all the lies, that give us the truth, in the duality concept. And I should mention as well, of course, with the sun and the moon, how they circle above us, just like a clock, and it's the sun and the moon, the concept of night and day. And of course, this woman's just reading off the script. She's happy as a clam with that big smile, supposedly contracted the coronavirus, and it's like she won a lottery. Look at that face. Give me a break. Now, what does this remind you of? For those that follow my videos over the years, I covered this, I believe it was 2016, with Dr. Agus on CBS News. Again, talking about the Zika virus. Take a close listen, as I showed before, at what is said.
And we now know that these mosquitoes can get Zika virus very easily from biting somebody, and the world is flat, right? Zika will be the first of many viruses over the years because the world is flat.
Again, truth in plain sight. Once again, absolutely nothing new what they're doing. And of course, we all know about that term of flattening the curve. Let's take a listen here to this one news story from San Francisco, California, regarding the coronavirus once again.
Expected. Really, over the last week and a half, we have seen a flattening of the curve.
And again, with this so-called outbreak, mentioning a flattening of the curve, always, again, the truth in plain sight. And that brings me back to this tweet, which I showed in a previous video, with Tom Hanks all coded. Let's get a little bit better of a close-up look, as I showed before, with Tom Hanks. And there's a lot of coded, nonsense in here. And as I mentioned before, with the 201 points when it comes to Jin Rami and being beaten by his wife, Rita Wilson, and 201, of course, has all to do with the event 201, this global pandemic exercise that took place in late 2019. Just an amazing coincidence. And of course, you have the orange fake phony bald earth. And as everybody knows that follows my channel, with orange being the only color numerology that is 33. So basically, this 33 matrix we're living, this fake phony world. Of course, we don't live in this globe. It's fake globe. And getting back to this tweet by Tom Hanks. And again, the very end here, where he states we're all in this together, flatten the curve. Just like you heard from this doctor with the first name Stephen. And Stephen, by the way, just happens to be a 33. I mean, none of these people act like, this is a serious issue, of course. This so-called virus overtaking the world, this ghost virus, this phantom virus that is so deadly. And none of these people act like I said previously, this is something really to be concerned with. And obviously, it's not for anybody that's awake. And getting back to the whole concept of the corona, with the corona typewriter, as you can see here, let's get a little bit of a close-up of the typewriter, as I shown previously, that Tom Hanks claims he brought aboard an airplane all the way to Australia before supposedly contracting the coronavirus. And he said it's his favorite typewriter. So he has to lug it around with him. And again, of course, bring it to the hospital where they're doing some tests on him. It's just an absolute complete joke. All this nonsense is going on in this world. And of course, you have the dual coronas. And corona, of course, as I mentioned before, in reversible reduction in gematria is 33. So you get, of course, you get your dual 33s, just like I showed many times with this Judge, Freemason, Grand Sovereign Commander, with the dual 33s. Just like Madonna and her album cover, showing back of the album, and interesting enough, wearing the gloves. Like subconsciously, with the virus, the coronavirus, wearing the gloves, just a little bit of a close-up, and you see the corona on the typewriter. So what are the chances? Basically, the most famous female singer in the world, Madonna, and one of the most famous actors in the world with Tom Hanks, as you can see here, along with all these lying dirtbags, Prince Charles, Prince Albert, you have the guy from Game of Thrones, the Bond girl, and Elba Idris, all scumbags, all liars, all frauds. And just like CNN's Chris Cuomo, supposedly contracting the coronavirus, and his idiot brother, Andrew Cuomo, just happens to be the governor. Hell, they're all connected. And this piece of garbage as well, Greta Thunberg, supposedly contracting coronavirus as well, or has the symptoms at least. What a joke this all is. Again, people are going to buy it because it's on TV, like I showed many times this quote. The American people don't believe anything until they see it on television. Again, Richard Nixon, absolutely no hero, but this is the absolute truth. And getting back to this prop, this typewriter that Tom Hanks, again, supposedly brought over from the U.S. to Australia, from his place where he was staying in Australia to the actual hospital, because it means so much to him for some reason. And the corona, the dual 33s, and again, you have the dual 33s with corona itself, and very symbolic with the corona, of course, as I showed many times, with this Order Out of Chaos logo with the 33, and very important, that crown, which is itself the corona. As you can see here, the corona, it's a wreath or crown. And of course, just like the World Health Organization, exact same logo as the UN logo, of course, and the 33 seconds, as I showed many times. So again, you have the corona, meaning a wreath or crown. So again, you have your crown, you have your wreath, and you have your flat earth symbolism, once again, of course, with the logo itself. And as I stated before, you have the serpent, which represents the vipers that run this world. Now, very interesting here, when it comes to connections, again, when it comes to entertainment, truth in movies, lies in the news, and in this case with entertainment, with video games, take a look at this scene from Tom Clancy's Division 2. Take a close look, once again, to give us the truth in the duality aspect in entertainment. And what do you see right there? The virus is a hoax. So again, this is predictive programming 100%. And another scene, which possibly will be more predictive programming, again from the same game, Tom Clancy's Division 2. Take a look as you see, this police car all beat up, and this is a society, that supposedly, potentially will go down at some point where, there's absolute chaos. And I don't want to spread fear, but this is how they do it usually, putting truth in, again, entertainment. Let's take a look here. I'm going to stop right there. World Bank Group, and it says is broke right underneath it. And let's continue on. And again, it says the virus is a hoax. So this is how they do it. And another aspect here when it comes to truth and entertainment, from this one video game as well, from this 1999 released PlayStation 1 game called Siphon Filter. Let's take a look here at the screenshot from the game itself. And with the character walking around, you see the UN logo, also the Flat Earth model. Of course, the World Health Organization with the serpent. And you see the logo for this company, this biotech company called Pharcom. So again, the Flat Earth with the biotech. And again, it relates with coronavirus and supposedly this released virus by the biotech company in the book The Eyes of Darkness from 1981. As I showed in previous videos, as you've seen the book by Dean Koontz, The Eyes of Darkness once again, and this bioweapon that was supposedly engineered in Wuhan, China. And another portion of the book, it talks about this ammonia-like virus or illness that will basically disappear, will come and disappear in the year 2020. So definitely, this is a form of predictive programming, just like the video game, how it all ties in, where again, they give us truth in movies, music, entertainment, any form of entertainment, and again, lies in the news, definitely lies in the news. Now, in more Flat Earth truth, when it comes to video games from Black Ops, that was released by PlayStation 4 just a couple years ago, take a look at this scene. Unbelievable how they give us the truth in plain sight. And a lot of these fanboys with video games and NASA, they don't understand what's happening, what's right in front of their faces. Just take a look at here at the Flat Earth model in plain sight. It's funny, underneath it says, yay, science. Take a look. Definitely 100%, as you can see, the sun and the moon Flat Earth model. And it says underneath here, the text acquired from the black market reserves. And again, yay, science. Just mockery. And this is basically biblical, hanging over nothing. And so, again, they give us the truth in these places, just like this one video game that's, I believe, currently being developed. I'm not sure when the exact release date is. And it's called Solar Warden. And again, the Flat Earth truth in plain sight. And you see it here, it says here, experience the truth of Earth. And of course, the Flat Earth model again. The truth of Earth, again, mockery. Now, I find this very interesting here, where they show the Flat Earth, and this is a misrepresentation. Anybody that knows anything about Flat Earth knows this is all we have. We basically just have the Flat Earth with a dome, and deep space is nothing but a hoax. All we have is inner space. And what I find interesting is the dragon itself. It reminds me of this one scene which I've covered before in a video from Star Trek The Next Generation. Let's take a listen to the dialogue that is said here.
Of course, in ancient history at Starfleet Academy, about the time when men still believed the Earth was flat, and that the sun revolved around it, and that if a ship sailed too far out into the ocean, it would fall off the edge of the world. Beyond this place, there'd be a dragon.
He says, beyond this place, there'll be dragons. And of course, it gets back to the scene here with the dragon. And as you've seen here, I just broke away from it momentarily, from the latest Star Trek series called Star Trek Picard, you see the breaking of the firmament, of course, mockery of God's firmament. And you see the star falling, the fallen stars, the fallen diamond from the sky. And it reminds me of this, of course, with Captain Picard. And again, they connect with Flat Earth. He mentioned the Flat Earth. They talk about the Flat Earth. And I have no doubt whatsoever, the name Picard, besides being 33 in numerology, it's spelled differently than this Picard, the scientist Picard. Dr. August Picard with the double C's from 1931 from Popular Science, where he mentions when he goes up 10 miles high and he sees a flat disc with an upturned edge. So definitely, the Flat Earth reference once again when it comes to the Star Trek episode with Captain Picard, no doubt whatsoever, the Flat Earth truth in plain sight, once again in the aspect of entertainment, just like this scene I've covered before as well with this music video Korn. And just take a look here as you see the song called Coming Undone. And you see the firmament, the sky cracking, all in plain sight. Truth in plain sight. Once again, this is how they do it. Nothing's hidden in this world. They put the truth in plain sight. And again, getting back to the whole beginning of this video,